Hey there, my brownies. Brownie Blog number 65 right here. And as we get back in a daily routine to get your daily dosage of brownie, I've started to overcome my sickness that has lasted 4 whole days. And so I will continue to give you some videos so you can get your brownie. However, I will not give you videos if I'm not feeling well at all, but I promise you, I will try my best to get you videos. And obviously, I'm making a video today because you are watching it. Alright, so anyways, Canada formally ended its 12-year-long involvement in Afghanistan. Now, they started technically in 2002 when special snipers were sent to hunt down high-up Al-Qaeda members, but it very much so grew into a large war effort later in the mid-2000s when Canada sent 3,000 soldiers to help support the U.S. troops along with themselves and UN and NATO troops to help end Taliban rule in Afghanistan. Now, it was a long war. It's longer than a lot of Canada's involvement ever in any war at all. And so it was one of the largest movements or war developments that Canada has ever been involved in. And Canada lost 158 soldiers, two other people, a diplomat and a reporter, and they also lost 2 contractors that were helping build over in Afghanistan. So there was many major losses. However, I believe it has all gone to a good cause, helping bring peace to a much needed country of Afghanistan. It was under Taliban rule. Little known, Afghanistan is not an Arabic country. It's just under some Muslim influence. So it's not an Arabic country itself. It used to belong to the Soviet Union, but once Russia left, the Taliban and many heavy Islamic groups took over Afghanistan, and they were very oppressive of the nation. And Canada and the U.S. said that that was just not right, the way that they treated people. Women were not allowed to work out at all. They were not allowed out of the house without a male member of their family. Children were not allowed to go to school if they were female. There were many other dangerous things that went on in Afghanistan. However, I believe that's all coming to an end because of Canada's involvement with their American brothers and other strong help from UN and NATO. And I'm very proud to be Canadian, I can say that. And Canada has lost many people, but I believe it is all gone to a good cause because peace has started to come to Afghanistan. And now that soldiers are leaving, the people that they have trained in Afghanistan, the own Afghanistan people, can start ruling over themselves again and have peace and order, which is really what the main goal of going into Afghanistan was. Now, Canada actually sent just as much non-military help to Afghanistan as they did send military help. They sent many humanitarian activists and many humanitarian help to Afghanistan. They built schools and hospitals. They trained people for specialist jobs. And so it was really good to see Afghanistan coming and just becoming, I don't want to say more civilized, but they were losing that harsh Taliban rule that was not good for the country. And so it was very good to see Afghanistan finally being a freer nation and finally being able to be self-supporting ever since the Soviet Union left Afghanistan. And I have lots of ties to Afghanistan. I, however, actually did lose a cousin to the war. I didn't know him very well, but he was one of the first people outside of friendly fire to die in Afghanistan. Sorry, I just had a bit of a coughing fit right there, so I just had to cut that out, because you do not want to see me coughing right now. Anyways, like I said, my cousin was one of the first people to die with another 158 in Afghanistan over its 12-year involvement, and so it's nice to see the war finally come to an end and see Canadian soldiers be able to leave Afghanistan in a state of peace. And so it's nice to have all our soldiers come back home and finally not have any wars or peacekeeping missions going on right now. And so, on to a lighter note over into the NHL. Vancouver is... I don't know what to say about Vancouver. They have embarrassed themselves so much ever since John Tortorella was suspended from the NHL for a while back there. And ever since he's gotten back, they have not been able to regain pace. And in fact, they lost 7-4, sorry. Yeah, you got that one other goal. They lost 7-4. However, the reason it was so embarrassing, and as John Tortorella described it, a kick in the teeth, the reason it was so bad was because they were leading 3-0 going in the third period, and just boom, 7 goals happened. And so, however, Vancouver, the only way they can get back into the playoffs is to start winning and go on a streak. And the way you start building a streak is winning one game at a time. And it appears they might be starting that as they beat Winnipeg 3-2 in a shootout. And before they went into this game, Winnipeg was tied with Vancouver. However, Vancouver is now taking the lead by 1 point. However, they are still 5 points out of a playoff spot, so they really do need to pick it up to beat the Dallas Stars out of that last playoff spot. However, I don't see them doing that. Speaking of the Dallas Stars, there was an incident on the Dallas Stars bench, a very scary incident. Richard Peverley has an irregular heartbeat. He's had the condition since he was born. However, he obviously has been able to make the NHL and had a successful career so far. And speaking of successful career, it may just be that now, because he collapsed on the bench with what they say, a cardiac event. It wasn't a cardiac arrest because his heart was still technically beating, but it was so irregular that he just collapsed. He required resuscitation from a defibrillator, from a team doctor, and the way it was handled, though, was very professional, very quick, and honestly, it probably saved Richard's life, and it was very, very scary event to see, and it was even scarier for the people as Alex Chiasson, I'm sorry, I can't say his name. I'm not a huge Dallas Stars fan, so I don't know all your pronunciations. But Alex Chiasson, that's how I say his name, actually had to go to the hospital as well with anxiety from just seeing the tragic event that was going on. And it was a very, very tragic event to happen. The game was postponed because it was so traumatic. However, Columbus will be able to maintain its 1-0 lead when it regains the game later on, which the game is going to be announced to continue within a week from now. But anyways, that's all I got for today. Canada is leaving Afghanistan for good now, and they are leaving it in a much better state than when they came, and I'm proud to be Canadian. All my prayers and thoughts go out to Richard Peverley and his family, and I hope he has a full recovery, and I hope you guys have an awesome night eating brownies and watching my video. So see you guys later. Goodbye.